Good morning and welcome. I'm Fly and today I'm taking a look at Monster Hunter World board game. Monster Hunter World is a 1 to 4 player co-op game published by Steamforged Games. Now I would be lying if I said Steamforged Games has the best reputation, which they don't. They're the publishers of very popular IP-based video games like Dark Souls and Horizon Zero Dawn, which means mediocre games with amazing minis. But did they manage to pull this one off by delivering great minis with a great game? Well, let's find out. But let me first give you a quick run-through of how the game works. Okay, so this game can be played either as a campaign-style game or as a one-shot. If you're playing as a campaign, you'll first pick up the quest booklet and you flip over to the first monster page. And if you're starting the campaign, you'll always start with the first monster assigned quest, which is this one on the top, the Great Jagras assigned quest. So you'll have a few elements here. So you have the time limit. This is how much time you have to complete this quest, Skullfly level, and starting point. And then you'll have a minimap which tells you how to set up for this specific quest. So there's a few elements here. So you'll pick up the monster and you'll place it on these nodes. Over here, you maybe can't see, but there are two bushes, which is these two elements over here. And these 4 spots tell me where my hunters can start the quest. So I can either start on this one, these two, or over here. And then once that's done, you flip over to the entry number 1. And so assign starting points, and then I'll read this text, and then it tells me to do something. So this is a small narrative part, like choose your own adventure style game, where you'll have a couple of options. You'll be exploring the forest, and you'll be tracking the monster. You'll be collecting materials along the way. So every time you get something, you'll register on these sheets. So you'll have common stuff over here, monster parts, the inventory of what you have, and this on the bottom part is where you track your campaign days. So I read the point 1, I'll get whatever's here, and I'll go to entry number 21. I'll flip to entry 21. I'll read that, and then it'll give me a couple of options. So I choose one of them, and it goes on and on like this until I get to an entry where it tells me, hey, you found a monster, get ready to fight. By then, I'll reveal how many tracks I have. I'll collect these track tokens along the way. Depending on how many I have, I'll have to shuffle one of these special behavior cards into the monster's behavior deck. And then I do so, and then I'll give it a little shuffle, and you're pretty much ready to start the hunt. Okay, so I've already done my hunter setup. So this is all my equipment, and this is my stamina board. So this is my weapon. My weapon tells me how much and how many of which damage cards I should add to the deck, and also the attack cards, the ones I should remove and the ones to add. So this is the damage deck. This is how much damage I'll be dealing, and this is my attack deck. I'll give it a little shuffle, and I'll draw 5 cards. And this will be my initial hand of cards. I'll also have my helmet, my body, and the legs. This is not initial equipment, by the way. You don't start with any of this. Also, if you're playing with 2 players, each of you will also get a Palico. Palico is this little buddy that gives you a special ability you can use once during the quest. So once that's done, you'll start out by revealing monster behavior from their behavior deck, and on the back of the cards it has some information of what he will be doing next. So this will be an attack using the heads to the nearest player. So you'll flip it over, and there you have it. So there's a movement, and then there's an attack. So it'll move 2 spaces towards the closest person. So at the beginning of the game, we're all equally close, but it has a tiebreaker. We have each player has these threat icons. So in case of a tie, the player with the highest threat is the target. So he'll move 2 spaces towards the closest hunter, which in this case he would do something like this, and then he'll attack for 6 damage with a 1 range in his front arc. So he will attack all this arc within 1 range. And there's 2 ways I can deal with this. I can either take the damage full on, deducing any of my armor I have. So I have 1 armor over here, plus 1 on the body and 1 on the legs. So I would take 3 damage from this attack, or I could dodge it. It needs a value of 2 to dodge. So I can play cards from my hands with a value of 2, up to 2, face down, on my stamina board to dodge this attack. So I will place it like so, and the attack would have been dodged. And after that, these symbols on the right is how many players get to go off after the monster's attack, and with how many cards. And so this sets the pace of battle like this. So one of the players would go, and he would be able to play 3 cards. So the cards, I'll give you an example. So I'll place this card over here, and I'll place this card. So this card would allow me to move, and this card allows me to attack by drawing 2 damage cards. And the monster also gets a stun token, one of these stun tokens. So I would draw 2 cards, a 1 and a 1, and I would deduce that from the monster's health, like so. And this attack also breaks 1 part, so I'm attacking the head. I would also add one of these break tokens to the head part. And it goes on and on like this until you either run out of time, or you are defeated 3 times, or you win the quest by slaying the monster, by reducing their hit points to 0. Once you've defeated the monster, you flip their card over, and you'll have the rewards table for this monster. So, and depending on what parts of the monster you broke, you get the rewards. So, did you break the head? You'll get Great Jagger's Mane. After you'll get the break rewards, you'll roll. If you're on an assigned quest, you'll roll 3 dice. And these 3 dice, you can do whatever combinations you want, and these allow you to get further rewards depending on what you rolled. And again, you'll register all of that in this quest sheet. So the monster parts you acquire, you'll register them here. These parts are used to craft new, better equipment. So you'll have your weapons. So this is the weapon tree. You'll have the metal tree, the bone tree, the specific monsters trees. So this is required for crafting the initial weapon. This is required for crafting the next weapon in this tree. This is the new damage card it gives, and it also gives you a few new attacks. If you flip it over, you have the equipment for this set, the Ancient Forest set, from the various monsters. And again, you have the helmets, the bodies, and the legs. You also have the materials needed for each piece of gear, the defense and elemental defense bonuses, and some other ability it might have. So once you're done with that, you'll cross out 1 day in the campaign tracker, and then you get to do whatever you want. You can do town activities, you can go to your next monster, you can do whatever. Keeping in mind that you have a limit of 25 days to win the campaign. You win the campaign by defeating a 4-starred monster, like this one, like the Diablos. If you manage to do this, you technically win the campaign. And you can also play this game one shot. So you pick the again the quest book and you'll flip it to the almost to the end, where you'll have arena quests, alternative play modes, and then you'll flip it over and you have all the monsters with preset equipments for any given weapon. You'll have all kinds of monsters, you can just play whatever. So a level 2 Rathalos, you have the preset equipment you need for any type of weapon. You just pick up all of this and you start hunting. As you can see, I've also been busy painting some of the minis, so these are some of the hunters. The light bow gun, the hammer, and the great sword hunter. And these are some monsters I've painted. So yeah. Okay, so let me start out by addressing the big issue here. There's a ton of mistakes in the game everywhere. It's just wow. I mean, from the quest book to the reference cards, it's mind-blowing. I mean, the amount of materials are wrong. The materials themselves, some of them are wrong. The damage card reference is wrong too. Wow, it's mind-blowing. It looks like they didn't proofread this at all. But the good news is they're collecting data from everyone who's been reporting these issues, and they'll be updating and reprinting every element, every reference card that's wrong, and they'll be sending those to backers for free. So this review is based on the assumption that everything will be corrected as it should. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's begin. So if you're in campaign mode, you'll start out with a small monster, with your initial monster, a pretty easy one, and every quest starts with the exploring phase, and then it's the hunting phase. During the exploring phase, you're tracking the monster, and you're collecting materials along the way as you find. So you walk past a rocky outcrop, and you might want to mine for a little bit. But you can't spend too much time on these activities, because then you might not have time to deal with the monster itself, so you'll have to manage that. Yeah, you'll get some things along the way, and you will eventually get to the monster. Once you get to it, you'll have a few tracks which you'll compare to a table, and depending on where you land, the monster will have a certain behavior added to their deck. So it might not be the same every time. It will pretty much always be different. And once you've completed the quest one time, you'll have more knowledge of the monster, so the next time you'll go through the exploring phase, you'll have the option to go where the monster is, and skipping pretty much every the gathering phase itself, which is just like the video game. And I appreciate that, because if you don't want to spend time just running around and collecting materials, you don't have to. You can just go and go kill the monster. And finally, the hunt itself is the meat of the game. So the monster has this behavior deck, this small behavior deck, and every time you'll pull out one of these cards, and it'll tell you what to do. It'll have the behavior, so it might have an attack and then a movement, or a movement and then an attack. And depending on what it does, you have two ways of dealing with it. You can either dodge the attack, or you can take the attack head on. So if you take the attack head on, you subtract the damage it does by the amounts of armor you have. You can also dodge it, which you'll have to spend cards from your hands onto your stamina board face down. So meaning they're just clogging your board by then, and you'll want to get rid of them eventually. But you can't be dodging attacks all the time, because then your stamina consumption will just go through the roof, and that's not good. So this is a hand management / stamina management game, where you'll have to time when and how to play your cards accordingly, because this monster behavior allows 3 hunters to go, and each of them plays allows them to play 2 cards. But just because you can play 2 or 3 cards doesn't mean you should do so, because you only have room for 5 cards on your stamina board, and if you play 2 or 3 cards, you might clog it up really fast, and then you can't deal with the monster's attacks, or vice versa. So yeah, that's something you'll have to manage. That's pretty clever. So the first time you face a monster, you'll have no knowledge of it, but the back of the cards have a few info on what the monster will be doing next. You can always look at them. So this one means it'll attack the closest hunter, and this one means it'll use its claws. So on the other side, it'll have the attack itself. Although you not always know what's coming, but you will have a piece of information and you can act accordingly. The next time you face the monster, you might see this card and you might know what it is. So you can deal with it, you can position yourself in a way so that no one needs to deal with the attack, and that's really cool. At the end of your turn, you're going to draw one of these time cards from this deck. So these are pretty much events that might occur during a hunt. So threat shift. Threat shift tells you to... So every player will have one of these threat tokens, and everyone will pass it around to the player on their left. So now another player has the attention of the monster instead of you. There are some cards here that are just random. So Sleep Toad. Roll a die. On 1 to 3, you place a sleep token, one of these tokens, on the monster physiology card. And on a 4 to 6 roll, your hunter suffers sleep. Oh my god, that's so random. I mean, that takes all of the strategy and tactics of the game, and it's just, wow, it's random. So another one, Vespoid attack. Your hunter suffers paralysis. Really? What the f? So anyway, this is something you might have to deal with, and it might turn the tide of battle against you. So let's talk about weapons. There's 14 weapons in the game, and not all of them are in this core set. Actually, there's actually 2 core sets, which is the Ancient Forest, and the other one is the Wildspire Waste. And each of them has 4 different weapon types. The other 6 are on this small box named Hunter's Arsenal. So there's that. But anyway, every weapon feels different, and the way you play it feels just like you play them in the video game. Well, most of them are pretty accurate anyway. So, well, I mean, if you're playing a ranged, like a light or heavy bowgun, you'll be keeping your distance, and you'll be shooting, dealing out a lot of elemental attacks, and also a lot of status ailments. If you're playing something like Greatsword, you'll be dishing out very heavy, hard-hitting attacks. You won't have a lot of mobility, though. If you're playing something like Lance, you'll be very tanky, and you will be able to withstand a ton of attacks. And that's really good. I mean, it's pretty thematic. And once you deal with a monster, you get to the good part, the carves. So every good hunter knows that when you kill a monster, depending on which parts you broke, you get the rewards. So depending on what you broke during the quests, you immediately get those materials. And after that, you'll be rolling dice. So there's this reward table. You'll be rolling on this table, and depending on what you get, you can make combinations for the materials you need. And you might not get what you want or need, and that's fine. You might need to do the quest again. And which, by the way, after the first assigned quest, you can hunt whatever you want. There's no... It's not linear. You can do whatever you want after the first assignment. Just keep in mind that you can only do the assigned quest one time. After this, if you want to fight this monster again, it'll be a harder version of it. But it will also yield better rewards. So there's that. And if you don't get what you need at first, because, well, you're rolling dice, it's random, you might need to do it again. And I really like that. So the sense of progression in this game, where you'll be collecting materials to craft better equipment, better weapons. Oh my god, it's so fun. This is the meat of the game, and oh my god, wow, this is really good. I really enjoy this part. So yeah, it's not tedious at all doing quests over and over, at least for me. It's very thematic actually. So you'll be fighting different monsters to get every material you need, not only for the weapons but also for the pieces of equipment, pieces of armor you need. You might want to do combinations of certain armor. Some full sets might give you set bonuses. The full set gives you a set mastery. Oh my god, yeah, it's really good. The game really shines here. Although, again, most of this is wrong, but once it's corrected, I mean, it's really good. And you'll be progressing through the campaign, beating monster after monster until you're ready to fight level 4, a 4-star monster, and which is the objective of the game, defeating one of those monsters, which they call Tempered Investigation. Once you do that, you technically win the campaign. I've already done that. I actually won by defeating a level 4 Diablos. I mean, it's not that hard if you are properly equipped. It does take a long time though, because besides the monster having a really high hit points level, they also have very high defense in each of the parts you're trying to hit. So 5 defense, there's 4 points, also 4. It's really high. You'll be chipping away most of the times, like 1-2 health per round, chipping away very slowly the monster's health. But it's not that hard. You just have to play strategically. It just takes a really long time. So I've actually completed the game in 15 campaign days. So as you can see, it's not that hard. But you actually have 25 days to win the campaign, as they say. You even have more if you mixed sets, like if you mix the Wildspire Waste and Ancient Forest set, you'll have 20 more days or so. And if you mixed some other stuff, you'll have even more days. So I haven't delved into the Elder Dragons yet. I might be doing that in a while, but I've just dealt with the base game's monsters. So keep that in mind. So now let's talk about components really quick. So the cards, they all have this linen finish. The time cards, well, they're just text cards. They do their job. The attack cards, the stamina cards, they're really bland. They just sit on your stamina boards. They're fine. So are the damage cards. They're just numbers. These oversized monsters physiology cards, I love this. I really appreciate what they did. This really reminds me of the video game. I really like this. And on the back side you have the rewards table, also with the Forge reference for each weapon type. And this is the Ancient Forest. They have others for the other sets. So on one side you have the weapons reference crafting, and on the back side you have the equipment for the matching sets. You have a bunch of tokens, status ailment tokens. They're really nice, they're really thick. The break, you also have the break tokens. They're also very chunky. The track tokens, they're just, on one side it's a claw, on the other side it's a number. The equipment cards, the weapons and equipment cards, they're really nice too. They're just steals from the video game. Next, the minis. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. And that's not even half of them. There's just so much here. Look at this. This is huge. Oh my word. They're really good quality minis though. It's what Steamforged game does best. You don't need minis, but they're really good. Okay, now the map is very generic, it's very bland, it's just points, these nodes. It's a 6x6 grid, and well, that's it. Even though there are some elements when you set up to it, like some bushes, some rocks, there's not much more to it. So when a monster moves, there's no obstacles. Sometimes a monster moves 3 or 4 nodes, and So in this case, the monster moves 3 spaces and it'll just reach you, no matter where you are, unless the monster is in a corner of the board. It might not get to you, but other than that, yeah, you're always within range of attack. There's no obstacles for the monster. I mean, the movement is still a bit clunky. This is the same system from Dark Souls, so if you played that game, this is pretty much the same. I mean, the behavior cards are really good, but the map, I don't know. I'm still not done with that for some reason. The positioning on the map itself feels meaningless. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing is why no player aids? So a monster hits me with a stun effect. What is that? I don't need to remember what the stun effect is. I don't need to remember that I need to put a card face down on my stamina board for that. I don't need to go look on the rule book what the stun effect is. Give me a player raids, okay? Oh my word! And by the way, the rule book, it's not that good either. Okay, get that right too. The rule book has some flaws. I need to check most things on the internet because there are some gaps on the rulebook, some flaws. Alright, so for me personally, I really love the video game. I played a ton of it. I have thousands of hours invested into the franchise as a whole, not just Monster Hunter World, but all in all, the board game gives me the feel of accomplishment, the challenge, and the sense of progression I really like in the video game. So if you like the video game, you'll absolutely love this. If on the other hand the video game is meaningless to you, then this will be just another generic game. So yeah, there's that. But so for me this is an 8 out of 10. Despite all of the issues going on right now, which they'll eventually fix, I absolutely love this game. I think it's really good. The campaign is excellent. You don't have time for the campaign, you just want to show this to a friend, or you just want to play a quick game, you can do that. It has a plug and play mode, the arena challenges. You can just set up a match with a given monster and put up the game and play it as you go. So yeah, there's that. Really great game, really love it. And that is that. What do you think about this? Do you like the video game or the board game better? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, thanks for watching, and until next time.